Hey, everybody, I'm John Granado. You can hear me mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. That's Josh Jordan. You can hear him Sunday mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. You can also see his work at sportsmaphouston.com. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, just so you get all of our content here at SportsMap HOU. Hey, Jake Odorizzi, it was inevitable that he was going to come and kind of screw the whole thing up, and he actually has. Since Jake Odorizzi has returned, the Astros starters suck. Now, we all wanted Odorizzi out. DFA him. He's terrible. He can't pitch. Get him out of here. He's ruining everything. But then Luis Garcia gets shelled. Christian Javier gets shelled. How much of the Jake hate is overreaction, and how much is that Jake beat it?
Clearly, it's contagious what's going on with Jake because all the other guys are catching it, right? But look, it's about his personality, I think, more than anything. Like, people just don't like the way he answers questions, the way he values his performance and his value to the team higher than a lot of other people do. He's just kind of an average pitcher, but he sees himself as a guy that deserves to be in that rotation. We saw it, in previous seasons where he's just rubbed people the wrong way, but he deserves to be pitching. And Verlander, they interviewed him, and it was Brian McTaggart. They talked about, the 5-man rotation, the 6-man rotation, and Verlander wants to get back to the 5, but he said it just makes way too much sense with Jake coming back to not go with the 6-man rotation the way the schedule is right now. And I love that Verlander, because we had to talk about this, John, is Verlander going to have some self-awareness, about not wearing down at the end of the year? Him and the Astros have had open lines of communication. It sounds like they're all on the same page. That's good news. But I think with Jake, we overreact a little bit. I mean, it was his first game back. I mean, you're going to need him at some point. You really are. Yeah,
well, hopefully. Hey, listen, he's not going to be in the rotation come playoff time, so you're going to need him in the bullpen. So maybe he should learn now. Maybe, yeah, well, or at least after the All-Star break, because you do have these 19 games, 18 games in 19 days, whatever the number is. So you could use a 6-man rotation now. But at some point, Jake Odorizzi, if you want to be, remember, you weren't on the playoff roster for the first series last year because there's just no room for you if you can't pitch out of the bullpen. So maybe in best interest for Jake Odorizzi is that he does go to the bullpen so that he has some value in the postseason. You know what has value to me, Josh, is Coors Light. It's cold, clean, crisp, and refreshing. It is the world's most refreshing beer. It's keeping Texas chill. It's 1,000 degrees out there. So how do you keep chill? You keep chill when you see those blue mountains, and they are blue, and they're cold, and they're wonderful, and they're refreshing. And if you're looking for the world's most refreshing beer, I got it for you. It's cool. It's cold, clean, crisp, refreshing Coors Light. 6-man rotation. Also, there's a thing this year. You got a limited number of pitchers on your roster now. You can only have so many pitchers on your roster. You go to a 6-man rotation. Now you take one guy out of the bullpen. You take one guy out of the bullpen, and you get to extra inning games. You get to a starter who doesn't go 3 innings, and now all of a sudden your bullpen is taxed. Is this going to put too much pressure, a 6-man rotation, on this bullpen?
It could. I mean, the other elephant in the room is what happens if and when McCullers comes back. I mean, then you got another starter, and you got to shuffle the deck again and figure out a different way. But yeah, they're lucky they haven't been playing a lot of extra inning games. These walk-offs have really come in handy to protect the bullpen also. So yeah, that's definitely a concern. But to me, Verlander is really important. You got to protect him and have him ready for the end of the season. So I think you roll with the 6-man rotation for a while. And at some point, you got to think Hunter Brown, is he going to factor in? At least he's stretched out. Maybe he could be a bullpen guy for you at some point later in the year. But, of course, then somebody's got to go if you bring him into the mix.
Well, I think there are a couple of candidates that could actually go. Not nearly as worried about that as I am that the guys who are – I don't think they bring Hunter Brown up this year. I don't think they start that clock. I think they're going to wait on Hunter Brown. It's the way the Astros do it. And, oh, by the way, you don't – right now with pitching, you just don't need it. And like you said, Lance McCullers is talking. I mean, he looks like he's ready to come back in maybe just a mere weeks, 3-4 weeks. And now all of a sudden you got yourself a real conundrum with Christian Javier, one of your best pitchers, having to go back to the bullpen. I mean, I just – and oh, by the way, if you go back to a 5-man rotation, where is Odorizzi anyway? Because are you going to take Garcia or Urquidy out of this rotation as well? Because Odorizzi is back and because Lance McCullers is back? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't either. But to me, it's Urquidy's at 5 or 6. To me, Javier has made his statement. I know, last night's game was standing. I'm not taking him out of the rotation, period. At least not during the regular season. Not right now. To me, Urquidy would be after him, and then Odorizzi after him. So that's the way I view it. I'm not messing with Javier. This guy's doing historic stuff.
Except the Astros. Well, we know he can do it, so we know Javier can go to the bullpen. So that's what we have to do. I disagree wholeheartedly, but I can certainly see that's how this thing is going to end up.
No, I hope not. I hope that's not the case. I really do. I see some upside, something special with him, and I'm not going to screw with him anymore. They've been doing it for so long, and even Click before the season, really wanted to commit to Javier being a starter, but things have kind of moved and changed, and they keep. I think you're right, John. He's the guy they know that can do that. But we talked about on the channel, he's not a guy where he's your 8th inning setup guy or something like that. They don't use him that way.
Nope.
So I don't know if you're getting everything out of Javier using him like that.
Absolutely not.